Hi, everybody. My name is Lindsay Bast, and this is my reflection video. So, reviewing my progress. The skills that I have practiced and refined over the course, I would say that I have gotten to be more natural, and I don't know if that's just because I've gotten more comfortable with my group and my partner, or if it's just kind of flowing that way. But I have been intentional with being less scripty and kind of just having natural responses when I'm talking. Key lessons you have learned during the semester. A good lesson I've learned during this semester is definitely coordinating with my partner and my group members. It really is easier than I thought it would be. Honestly, people are very flexible and have lives, and it's a lesson learned for a positive in my life, because sometimes lessons can be negative, but it's actually a really positive experience for me. So, provide examples of how I applied these skills. So I would say that probably around the third recording I did with my group, I started just really being more concerned about what they were going to say rather than preparing for the recording. I would prepare based on what we were supposed to be practicing that week, but it was very difficult because I didn't know what my partner was going to discuss. So all that went out the window when we started recording. So having these natural responses and just kind of, excuse me, being an active listener and then responding with a natural but thoughtful response with no bias and no opinion behind it. And I do have to admit, I do struggle still with kind of forming an opinion, and I think it's okay as a counselor to have an opinion, but not to share it maybe at a inappropriate time. I think there's an appropriate time to give your opinion on a matter, but not in a way to influence your client, because you're not there to coerce them into doing something based on your opinion. Challenges that I have faced and overcome this semester. The scheduling, that was a big one. I am a very busy mother. I have a job. I run my house. I am all over Florida. My family's scattered. I am constantly busy. I am always hosting events. And so finding time with three other people who are also very busy, who are working and have lives, was really challenging. But once you get into a groove and you're just open and honest, and the biggest thing I learned from that is I used to be really polite and be like, oh, you know what works for you? And I learned to just be forthcoming and say, this is my availability. And I had to learn that that's not rude. That's life. And people I think appreciate when you're forthcoming with them, rather than dilly-dallying around and being like, oh, yeah, well, that day could work or that time could work, but this is better. Like, just flat out say your availability, and then you guys kind of work from there. Another challenge that I did have with one of the skills is, I brought this up earlier, but giving my opinion. Because I have an opinion on everything, and I try really hard to let my client in the recording form their opinion on the matter, and I'm still struggling with that. So yeah, that is something I definitely need to work on. Let's see. Reflect on how these challenges contributed to your growth as a counselor. Okay, so counseling, you have a lot of clients and you have a lot of scheduling. And so I think that working out my scheduling conflicts with my partners was really eye-opening, because in in my career as a speech therapist, I didn't have much of a scheduling issue because my schedule was always built for me. But going into a counselor role, I feel like it's a little more intimate with your client, where you're scheduling around kind of like what they need and your availability. So trying to find that with my group was very helpful, and I think that is huge for going into this field, to be forthcoming with your clients, and this is when I'm available to you, and what works for you, and so you guys kind of collaborate on that together. um, Areas you would like to continue developing your skills: definitely to stop forming my opinion and to tell my opinion to my clients. And again, I don't know if it's just because I'm comfortable with my groups and my partner, if I'm just giving them my opinion because I'm like, oh, I'm comfortable with these people, this is what I think. But that is something I need to be cognizant of, and to try to just hold it back. And I will say I am really good at leading them to kind of come to their own realization about something I've already formed in my head an opinion on. And I don't really want to say leading. I ask them a lot of open-ended questions to get them to kind of come to their realization on their own. Like, oh, yeah, I didn't think of it that way. So that's a skill that I would like to develop more, is to kind of do more of the self-realization for the client and kind of diminish the opinion from my side of things. So, okay, I think that was all. So, yeah. My lessons learned: scheduling and just be forthcoming with people, and challenges and growth. Definitely have grown to not be so scripty. I am a lot more flowy, and I feel like I'm an active listener, and I feel like my clients, even though they're just my recording partners, I feel like they're being heard, not just listened to. And in the future, I hope to develop better skills at honing in my own opinion, and maybe formulating that into a way where I can rephrase it without being opinionated. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's something I would like to do. I would like to kind of help people realize that sometimes the things that they're saying, I don't know what I'm trying to say. I guess what I'm trying to say is, when I have an opinion on something, and it seems like I have been telling my clients in the recording, my opinions are normally like, oh, in my opinion, what you did was okay, or what you did wasn't inappropriate. And I think that's okay, but I want to relay that in a way where it's not like, oh, in my opinion, because my opinion is not the only one that matters, and I need to develop that skill. And so that's something I'd like to work on in the future. All right, bye guys.